So I was just sitting around idle. Well, not really idle. I was actually fiddling around, really thinking about what I should be doing. I mean, I should be studying right now. I am a medical student, final year, whatever. I'm really very passionate about video making suddenly, so yeah, whatever. Career, who cares about that? So I suddenly don't know what came over me, really. I suddenly started thinking about something, and this video is about that. What I started thinking about was this this whatever I am doing right now, this sitting idle, this wasting time. At the stage that I am currently, you guys need to understand what stage I am right now. I am currently in the MBBS course, which is like for becoming a doctor. Probably you guys know that. And I'm in the final year of the MBBS course, and like that's not to brag or anything, but it is the hardest academic year as far as the entire medical course is concerned. I'll give you a perspective as to how hard it actually is. So basically, there are 19 subjects in the entire MBBS course. 9 of those subjects are included in the final year MBBS syllabus. So that is how disproportionately tough the final year of MBBS is. But this video is not about how tough my life is or really how you guys should be shedding tears for me. None of that. I don't want your pity. But what this video is about relates to the topic that I'm talking to you guys right now. And that is this lack of fear that I have developed about the consequences of just about anything or everything right now. Fear. That was an interesting thing that really popped up in my mind for a second. It's not like it's a very uncommon thing to think about because I do live alone. And sometimes fear, I wouldn't say fear, but sometimes, you feel that sense of uneasiness. Very, very sometimes, however, mind you, I am not a pussy. Even when I started staying alone out from my hometown, even then I never got scared really. And it's not like I'm scared right now or anything, but that is what this video is about. The lack of scare, the lack of fear. And that got me thinking, what exactly are we human beings scared of? I mean, different people are scared of different things, obviously, so let's not just generalize all of that together. But yeah, there can be a generalization, right? I mean, if I am to generalize very, very, very roughly speaking, we are afraid of things that can hurt us, right? We are afraid of things that can be not so pleasant as far as the consequences are concerned, as far as the outcomes are concerned, as far as things that will cause us displeasure. Things that will snatch our happiness away from us, things that will, like, I would even go on to say that we are afraid of things that will not give any happiness to us. Fear is that far hardwired into our minds, really, wherein anything that is not really pleasurable to do, if we live that kind of a life wherein we are not pushing ourselves daily, we kind of develop this habit of avoiding things that are even the slightest bit hard. And that is where we really need to check ourselves. This video is not even about that, by the way. I mean, I don't know. I'm going on about a rant of all these fear and generalized things. What really, really got to my attention, or really what got me thinking, what really, tweaked the light bulb in my mind, is what about fear and the representation of scary things as far as the media is concerned? Like, not the media as in the media, as in, multimedia, as in movies, as in, stories, games, popular media. That's what I was really thinking about. And that is when I think I saw a YouTube thumbnail video on The Exorcist, or, that remake. No, not the remake, like the second or third movie that came out of one of those franchises. I'm so tired of those. I'm so tired of those Exorcist and Nun movie things that the entire Conjuring universe. So incredibly tired of those. I really like the first movie, but then again, I haven't rewatched it, and I watched it like a long time back, so it might be a little dated in my opinion. And as kids, we are really afraid of anything that is out of the ordinary. So maybe I'll review it later someday if I get the time. That is. Uh, and yet here I am making this video as if like lack of time is an excuse for me. So what exactly is going wrong with the representation of scary things, of fear, or horrifying things, or horror as a genre in popular media these days? Why are movies like these not working anymore? That is what really got me thinking. What exactly are we afraid of? I mean, I cannot speak about we, really, but I think, having lived 22 years on this earth, anything that can really, like, make me sit on the edge of my seat would be something that is unpredictable. I think unpredictability is one of those things that I would consider, at least for me, that gets me really like going. Like, you would expect a jump scare. Even jump scares have become predictable, even though the literal definition is that they're supposed to be unpredictable. But jump scares are very, very effective when you're not expecting them. This tired and tested formula of jump scaring right when the music drops and suddenly there's jump scare. This tired and tested formula, and I'm so surprised to see movies are still doing that. I mean, I remember, like, I think 1 or 2 months ago, I was watching this recent horror movie that came out with my sister. I think it was The Pope's Exorcist or something like that. Horrible, absolutely horrible movie. I was expecting so much out of it. I really was expecting so much out of it. I forgot the name of the actor. He's a very famous actor. I think he's the actor who acted in Gladiator, I think. I'm really terrible at remembering names, but I really thought it would be something good. I don't know why I thought that, but I mean, someone can hope, really. I mean, horror as a genre is really one of those things for me wherein I really don't like watching horror. I would say because of the saturation of that genre. I'm talking about movies, of course. And but then again, when I start watching them, it kind of becomes this guilty pleasure kind of thing wherein I cannot really stop myself. And this really, really elevates when I'm watching this with someone, with my friends or something like that. And the best, I think, horror experiences are the ones which are not even horrifying. They're just fun bad. So you like start making fun of everything and anything and the characters and start finding out cliches. I mean, there is an entire, I think, set of jokes on the internet about horror cliches, horror film cliches, horror movie cliches. This character will die first. This character will be the one to, do something idiotic. This character will do this. I mean, we are so used to horror cliches by now. And that really goes on to say something. And that is why I brought the point of unpredictability. I think unpredictability is something that is being lost these days. And when you sprinkle that unpredictability, I think you get movies like Hereditary. Incredible movie, incredible horror movie. That is one horror movie where I really, really liked it. Really liked it. The Wailing. Damn good movie. Damn good horror movie. I think you guys, anybody watching this video will be kind enough to point out like 50 more horror movies which are great or even better than these that I'm pointing out. But these are the horror movies that really come to my mind at just, very fast. Whenever somebody talks about horror movies, damn, Hereditary. Because that's a damn good movie. And I think unpredictability really worked in the favor of these movies. And many times, the setting is another thing that really, really is something that gets my ball rolling, at least. But again, I can kind of see that argument as to, setting, come on, horror, cliche setting, it's dark, it's raining. But for me, that kind of, works. That works. I'm speaking, of course, from the perspective of the movie The Wailing. If you've seen that movie, I think the setting in that movie is so incredible. The unpredictability as well, but the setting of that movie, like the weather and just where the location of where it's set, it's absolutely amazing, that movie. So these are the things that come to my mind. And now then you compare these kind of movies to like series of these horror series movies, these Conjuring or uh, Exorcist. I've really forgotten, whatever. And then you start seeing that these things are literally like they started a trend. They started like this. They really fitted a format, and now they're just making the same thing over and over again. The thing that they cracked back in 2013 or something with The Conjuring, using that same reused and retried formula over and over again. Like, you have to innovate. I think horror movies are somewhere many people don't actually, I think, talk about this, but I strongly feel that horror movies, they are a genre where innovation is very much required, at least for me. And that's why that unpredictability setting really kicks in. I mean, anybody and everybody knows that, what is going to happen, or like you can kind of gauge as to what is going to happen. You suddenly expect something to happen in a horror movie, the plot to follow a certain direction. You know that there will be jump scares. You know that the music will drop somewhere. And when the movie just kind of ticks off those boxes, it's just another horror movie. And that's, I think, what happened with movies like The Nun. I haven't even watched that movie, but from just the little snippets that I watched, I knew exactly what it all was. So these movies really, they're using that same tried and tested formula. Now, being an Indian, I have the privilege of watching many amazing Indian horror movies as well. Not saying that they're very good. Again, that is another entire can of worms and stuff like that, that I would prefer not to open right now. But one horror movie that, I don't know, you might have heard about it. It is absolutely amazing. It is a Marathi film called Tumbar. And again, innovation. Innovation. I have never watched a horror movie like Tumbar. That is why I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It is filled with lore, and it is filled with a little bit of that realness, that reality, because what Tumbar essentially talks about or discusses, the lore behind Tumbar, I have heard that is actually true. That is actually a true thing as far as the lore is concerned. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't watched it. I would really recommend you watch it. So these are movies wherein, again, I seek to find what exactly clicks in these movies, and the only common factor that I find in these movies that worked for me as a horror genre fan is innovation, is something out of the box, is that unpredictability. And by unpredictability, here is another thing. I'm not just talking about like a plot twist or something like that. Again, a plot twist, you do anything enough number of times and it becomes predictable. You do unpredictable things enough number of times and you become predictable. And that is, I think, what many horror movie creators are failing to understand. Not that, this is completely my opinion as a very simple horror fan. I mean, if you tell me to direct a horror movie, I'll make the worst horror movie, a worse horror movie than anyone. But this is just me as a fan. Okay, this is from the perspective of a horror genre fan. So that's the thing. Like, and this probably spills out not just to this probably spills out to more things than just this horror genre. I'm talking about the horror movie genre as well, but this probably spills out to any work of art. As in, if you really want the audience, this want from the director or from the creator or whoever to really touch the audience in some way, to make the audience feel or think something. This when you want something very very badly, the universe conspires to make it yours, whatever. So, anyways, I'm really veering off topic. What I mean to say here is that this innovation, this unpredictability is, I think, something that is being lost in horror movies. I don't make videos like this. In fact, this is the first time I'm ever making a video like this, but damn, I just had to spill out. Okay, this is cathartic, if anything, if nothing else. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about this, and maybe I'll make videos like this later. Who knows? Unpredictable.